What's going on, people? A bit of an impromptu one, so join me if you want to. But I'm going to have a conversation that I heard about Mr. Uganda. I heard his live, and I'm going to react to it because I think it was very good. So let's get into it. What's going on, people? What's going on, people? What is going on? All right, so what's going on, family? Greetings. You know what I'm saying? But listen, family, it's very interesting, right? I heard a conversation not too long ago from another YouTuber in the well, I don't know if you'd agree with that, but he's in the Pan-African space. So this is a bit of an impromptu one today, guys. You know, I was supposed to come on and keep talking about the fresh and fit stuff. But when I saw his live and I saw his reaction of another video or another panel video that he was on, you know, I had to sit down and listen to the brother and what he was saying. You know, another brother sharing his thoughts, sharing his feelings, and sharing his understanding of what took place. Now, mind you, he was a bit upset. So I listened. And it was very intriguing, the conversation that he was having with his audience. And as I listened more and more into the conversation, I agreed with a lot of what he was saying. But then I thought to myself, you know what? Let me jump on the platform. Let me have the conversation. And you know what? Because he brought up some very, very good points. So, guys, if this is the first time you join the conversation, first time you come on the platform, don't forget to do the YouTube honors. Hit the like button, smash the subscribe, share the video, all that good stuff. But anyway, so I'm really coming on here to have an open heart conversation because there's something that he said that really touched me. And you know, on this platform, we always talk about having core masculine principles, being of the LSG-mindset. We always talk about that on this platform. And in his conversation, he displayed some of those attributes which I speak about so intently on this platform. Let me pull up a little slide for you. He displayed truth and integrity. He also displayed some level of accountability in his involvement in the conversation. And that struck me in the humility in what he was speaking about. So I thought, nah, let me jump on a platform and say something because he put out a challenge. Now, whether he meant that in what he was saying, I don't know, but it resonated with me. And it resonated me in such a way that, nah, family, I had to jump on here and I had to say, yo, certain things that he was saying was absolutely correct. But I want to take a step back and I want to look at both sides, right? I want to look at both sides. He was on a panel this conversation, or he was listening to a panel conversation where there were African Americans, Pan-Africanists on the platform. You had some Africans native to the continent on the platform, and they were having a back and forth. Now, I tuned into this conversation, family, and the point when I tuned into the conversation to listen to like 5 minutes of it, it was like a brawl was taking place. There was no sense of camaraderie. There was no sense of consciousness. There was no sense of conversation. It was people yelling at each other and you know, a slanging match, swearing, etc., etc. Now, when you look at this and you think to yourself, wow, that's kind of crazy, but it's something that's very regular we see on YouTube, especially in the social media spaces. So what he was saying on his, I don't want to say his rant, but I'd rather say his emotional plea, was that the behavior and the conversation in which took place was very detrimental to the cause in which these people are proclaiming that they are about or for. Not only that, but he expressed, from what I was getting at and what I was receiving from him, that these people, these types of people, were not concerned about the group ethnic image that we speak about on this platform. Because we have to understand that we as a people have a group ethnic image. And when we put out a group ethnic image of ignorance and belligerence and arguing, etc., on the platform, we're showing that for the world to see. We're showing that for the world to see. And you got to ask yourself, and he asked the question, who raised you?
I said, bitch, who raised you?
It's a very important question. So when I looked at it, I thought, you know what? Let me look at it on both sides. On one side, you've got the African Americans, the Pan-Africans saying that Africans don't like them. And on the other hand, you had some Africans on the platform saying that they needed the African Americans to come into Africa. And there was a whole bunch of back and forth going forward. And I was thinking, wow, this is kind of crazy, because what lacked in the whole conversation was history. What lacked in the whole conversation was culture. What lacked in the whole conversation was understanding and humility that there's been a separation between two parties. And if two parties want to come together, there must be an understanding of the past history, their story. But what I was hearing from what he was saying is that these Americans, and I've seen it on the platform, I'm not just going to put it down to him, I've seen it on the social media platform, where they are standing and belittling and insulting Africans on the continent, presuming that Africans on the continent, A, even know about Pan-Africanism, or B, care about their issues. Because it's a whole different continent on a whole different side of the world. Most of them aren't even on the internet to see the foolishness that's taking place. Because if people were to understand how much, like 40 to 45% of people in Africa have access to the internet, there's over 1.3 billion people over there. And I think because we don't speak in realistic terms, because we don't address the things that we're supposed to address and deal with the realities that lay before us, we often talk in abstract. We often talk in a clown world, like
circus, Afro circus, Afro circus, Afro polka dot, Afro.
And it often leaves me wondering, like, what the heck is going on? So I'm thinking, all right, let me look at this, right? So I heard one Pan-Africanist on the American side say, well, because I've heard this argument before. Oh, well, let's go down the road. Africans didn't come over to America to save us. I've heard this argument. It's really interesting when I hear this argument, because let's look at it history. If you were taken from Africa and enslaved in America, the question now becomes, what happened to your people? Why they didn't come and get you? As opposed to using a victim mentality and saying, well, because they didn't come and get us, such and such and such. I'm just being logical and rational here. So the question is, I'll be asking an African, if I was an African-American Pan-Africanist, would be, well, why didn't you guys come and get us in slavery? Well, unbeknownst to some of these Pan-Africanists, and especially a lot of people in the United States of America, because for them, the United States is a world in itself. So they don't have, or they're not taught many history or understanding about the rest of the world. So they never got that information. Likewise, when the Africans were exported on slave ships, the ones that were left behind, millions of them, they were enslaved too. They just call it a different name. They don't call it the transatlantic slave trade. No, they call that colonialism. They call that invasion. They call that. So when on one side of the world, we have Africans taken to America, and they're beaten and enslaved, and the culture is beaten out of them. But on the other side, on the African continent, you have us, our kingdoms are destroyed, our nations are destroyed, we're divided, our land is divided, and then tribes that never lived together are mushed together in fake borders that were not once there. None of the countries that currently sit on the continent of Africa were made by Africans, were drawn by Africans. None of the countries. So if you really want to have a conversation with Africans and you ask them where they're from, they usually tell you what tribe they're from, then country, then African. And there's a reason for that, because tribes held kingdoms in Africa. But of course, our Pan-African brothers and sisters don't know this. And what they know of Pan-Africanism is often romanticized in the sense of Egypt, with Egyptology, Hotep. Shout out to my Hotep brothers. Shout out to my Hotep brothers. Polite. I'm coming for you, bro. Don't worry. I see you. I see what you did. Right? You get one. That's right. Right? And they don't understand what's happened. They weren't taught that. So they come on these platforms, open up their mouth and talking to their mouth and saying about how Africans didn't come and save us, not realizing that Africans were enslaved just like they were and had no means, might, or military, financial, or economical, or social, or whatever to be able to come across the waters to save you or get you back. All right. If anyone disagrees, by all means, put something in the chat and tell me if you disagree. You know what I'm saying? Smash the like button while you're there. Because there seems to be a delusion that keeps going around this place. And we're going to have to try and get to the bottom of this. Because Mr. Uganda put out something and he said he's had enough of the conversation and he wants to stand up and speak the truth. And in a sense, that points to integrity. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to scripture on y'all. Because this is what's lacking in our culture. A ground, moral, stable principle. But on this platform over here, we teach an LSG mindset, principles. Because morals, principles, and discipline establish a culture. And this is what seems to be the problem. We have a cultural divide between Africans on the continent and the diaspora. One has lost their culture and replaced it with a supremacist culture, a supremacist mindset, and a no culture. A matter of fact, a European culture. Because they don't know the history of Europeans, they don't realize they behave in the exact same way as Europeans back in the day. On the right-hand side, you've got Africans who retained the majority of their culture, but still amalgamated European culture into their culture to some degree. Being forced to adopt their laws, being forced to adopt their religion. So on both sides, we have this argument, we have this inability to what? Come to a middle ground. Why? Because of that scripture I just put up right there. For there is no respect of persons with God. We must stand in a place where we're not respect of persons. Truth is truth. Right is right. Integrity is integrity. Honor is honor. Those are the places and the principles we're supposed to be standing on. So I agree with the brother to a very large extent, because what I see on the platforms unfolding is a bunch of tomfoolery and a lot of ignorance, to be fair. And that goes to a lot of lack of understanding of history, lack of understanding of culture. No, I would like to know what's going on with Brother Polite. Yeah, don't worry. I'll speak about that later. Shout out to the BLKMailTV family in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like the video. All right. This is just an open mic conversation. I'm just having it because a brother touched me, man. I'm telling you. And I was like, nah, let me get on here and say something. I was working, doing something else. And I was like, let me get on this platform because I see too much of the foolishness on YouTube. And we just allow it. And we think, yeah, because of likes and because of subscribers, you know, YouTube is a platform that is not there for us to be using and showing our ignorance on it. It's there for us to show the best of who we are. It's there to show the best of what we can be. It's a TV station that allows us to broadcast our image from our mouth, from our story. And if that's the story that people want to be putting up on the platform, then no, I don't want to be called black. Because that black culture is ratchet. I'll be 100% real. 100% real. I'm sorry for those people I offend, but again, I'm no respecter of persons. I'm speaking truth. I'm not trying to do this for likes. I ain't trying to do this for subscribers. I ain't trying to do this for none of that. Oh, big shout out to Regiment Music. What? I haven't heard my brother in a long time. Yes, my bro. Big shout out to the Israelite in the building. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. So when he was speaking about it, it's like yo, these people are coming on the platform. They're talking about how, you know, the Africans are begging for, you know, the Pan-Africanist money, etc., to come into Africa and do something. I'm like, bruh, let's look at that for a second. Let's look at that point for a second. The dollar is about to fall. The pandemic, global warming, the system is about to crash. And we're having silly conversations on here about who's better than who and who didn't come to save who. And what are you guys smoking? Like, who raised you?
I said, bitch, who raised you?
I mean, sometimes I'm listening to these people talking and I'm like, yo, do you understand what come out of your mouth? Some of you need to just be like,
Meg.
That's where some of y'all need to be at. Because the majority, all the other cultures who go on YouTube, and it's an international platform, and they're seeing you talk like this to each other, they're just like, what is the group ethnic image, man? So those African Americans who really understand about Africa and want to connect and want to join to Africa, big shout out to you for doing that. Who have the African mindset, but you have to adopt the African culture to be assimilated into it. So let me go back to the question, right? Because they're saying they need their money, right? Africans need the American money, Pan-Africanist money to come in. Listen, while African Americans have over $1 trillion in spending, I think it's $1.3 trillion in spending. They don't spend that money invested in their own community. That's that culture. So while that money can be used to go into Africa, because right now Africa as a whole is at 2.3 trillion. So if the African Americans put that money into Africa, it would raise Africa as a whole, a higher degree, but it wouldn't put Africa on the map. In order to do that, we'd have to use that income to create added value by turning the raw materials that Africa has in abundance into finished goods. That's where we make the money. Not because you're coming over giving donations, not because you're coming over and giving investments. The American dollar is about to crash. Look at your interest. Look at the debt clock. I can pull it up here if you want me to. What are you guys talking about? It's like when I'm hearing the arguments kicking off, I'm like, where's the moderator? Where's the person to come in there and be like,
no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh yeah!
because somebody needs to come in there and shut that conversation down. Because one side is arguing with the victim Olympics, talking about Africans need to come and save, they're coming to save Africans, and why and Africans don't like them. Like, seriously. Okay, if people didn't know, I think they need to know this. Majority of Africans, they know American culture from TV, media, social media. So whatever the American culture, the African American culture, excuse me, shows the world, that's what the world sees. If you put drama, they will see drama. If you put brothers like Polite up there with the conscious community, pedo and youths, they will see that. You put your Derek Jacksons up there, they will see that. You see the feminist movement where the women are saying in the American culture they don't need no man, they will see that. So explain to me, right, how African Americans which want to be with Africa are cussing Africans because they're poor. Africans have culture. 2-parent households. 780 million children about to be between the ages of 19 and 26. The birth rate's not going down. It's going up. 1 in 4 people by 2040 is going to be African. So I understand that, you know, people love drama and it's easy to build a platform and you get likes and you get subscribers, but I have to agree with the brother. At what point do we have to sit down and understand and say, hey, what is the group ethnic image are we putting out here? We want to talk about coming together, but I always say we walk with an individualistic mindset. And that is not conducive to coming together for nothing.
What did you say, nigga?
That's right. It's not conducive to nothing because we're not grounded in any moral standards and principles. And because we don't have no moral standards and principles, we go back and forth in a cat fight without any foundation or grounding. Where's your square, homie? Instead, we're looking like all over the YouTube space. And there's Google. You got a smartphone. Be smart for once. Use it. It's easy to look up the history of what took place on Africa to understand colonialism took place. It's easy to understand that in the 1950s, when the Pan-African movement was really going, it was really about what? Group economics and sovereignty, independence on the African continent, working together. Some African Americans have taken the idea and they've grown their own idea of Pan-Africanism with a romanticized notion through the Hotep hustlers and the Nuwabian pedophilias. I have to be careful of my words there. I don't want to say that too much for YouTube to bring up the algorithm. And I've given them a false romantic notion of what Africa is. Africa is the last frontier. It's the last frontier, man. I know some of you be looking at me like, but that's right. They were like, what? Africa ain't nothing but starving elephants and, you know, people with bugs and flies on their eye and da-da-da-da. They were like, you dumb for going to Africa.
You are really dumb, for real.
Right. I'm the dumb one, right? When majority of the world's resources, minerals, and raw materials that powers everything that you have in the West comes from Africa. Comes from Africa. So without those raw materials, none of the things in the West will be mobilizing and doing anything. Damn! But instead, what we do is that we claim black, we claim African, we claim Pan-Africanism, all the other synonyms, titles, whatever the frig you want to call it, and then we open our mouth on the public platform, ignorant as the dog that forgot his bone, trying to have conversations with an individualistic mindset, no knowledge of history, no knowledge of self, talking about we need to come together.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Like, really? Like, really? So, no, I had to commend the brother because when I heard the conversation, I'm hearing some things like, oh, well, Africans are begging for African Americans' money. No, bruh. Didn't you see Akon has built a city out in Senegal? He's building another one out in Uganda. You don't need no African American money for that. We got Wakanda being built in Ghana. We've got Jacob Caesar building Petrona City. Like, what are you lot watching on these platforms? You have the information at your fingertips that give you the ability to see the world at a totally different level. But all you lot are doing is engaging in trash.
Y'all are trash.
Capping all over the place, talking like you know something when you don't know nothing. The cap is like over 9,000 up in here.
It's over 9,000. Stop it. Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help. Like, seriously. Listen, history is very simple. I've got a video on here I'm going to go and review that because people are talking on here like say they don't understand that you come from Africa, bro. Someone's trying to tell me, oh, I'm from the ADOS movement. We were originally here. Bro, there were Africans in America before you were taken from the slave ships. Those are Africans. They sailed from West Africa, the kingdom of Timbuktu in Ghana or Mali, over to America. We were trading with them for hundreds of years. There's images with black people and the indigenous people of America, the Indians, fighting with Vikings. That's how far back we was in America. Africans. Just so we're clear. So I get the brother. Oh, I need to get a drink, family. I need to get a drink. My mouth is thirsty. Give me a second. Oh, thank you for that. I have to get some water in here. It's like, oh, my throat was dry. It was dry.
You assuming I'm a human. What I gotta do to get it through to you? I'm superhuman, innovative, and I made a rebel. So that anything you say is.
Woo! Okay, so let's get back to it. So I'm not going to be on here for too long because the brother just incited me, man. He provoked my spirit because I'm like, hey, how are you got African Americans who've gone through the worst atrocity in human history, sit on the other side of the fence and belittle Africans who are still being oppressed today? Oh, they're not being oppressed? Oh, okay. Go talk to France and talk about the pact of recolonization. Go talk about that. Go talk about South Africa and what's happening down there. Go talk about how all the African nations are using different currencies because they were controlled by different Western powers. It's very simple. The control hasn't gone just because you see an African face there. UK is doing deal with Ghana. UK is doing deals with Togo. I mean, come on, family. This is the real world. This is the real world. You can't sit on one side. Yeah, I had a frog in my throat, definitely. I hope it sounds good. Listen, we can't be playing around with these things no more. We can't be acting as if to say we don't know what's really going on. And for those that don't know what's going on, then you don't need to be talking. If you really think that Africans need your money, listen, you've missed the boat, man. You are not seeing what's taking place on the continent. You are not seeing what's taking place on the continent. Matter of fact, the reverse is actually happening. The West is about to fall. Everything you see is a facade, but keep playing. Keep playing. When the economy crashes and depression hits, it's going to be worse than what you've ever seen before. We're going to go back to 1700s, where you got peasants, workhouses. I'm bringing all that up, man. Listen, you guys are having an argument over something that doesn't even make sense because you're trying to hustle people out of money. And don't think I'm not going to talk about them Pan-African hustlers that have gone over to Africa and are getting you to pay them money and donate to stuff, and they're not even building nothing. Talking about they only want to buy some land and only want to be for African Americans. What kind of foolishness is that? So you couldn't buy land in America for yourself and your people. You've gone over to Africa, bought some land there, and then you're going to tell the Africans they can't join in on the land. I mean, the nerve.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Like, that brother, if that is what he's really doing, needs a slap. Straight up. But when I'm sitting there and I'm listening to Mr. Uganda, air out his feelings and express himself because of the comments. This is what I'm saying. It's the comments that they say with such ferocity and fire, as if they're true. And I guess they say ignorance is bliss, right? Because our people love to do things the hard way, right?
Now we can do this the easy way or we can do it the hard way. The choice is yours.
We always like to do things the hard way. Listening is an art. Googling is an art. Use your smartphone. What happened in Africa during the times we were enslaved? What happened? So you can gain an understanding of why Africans do not understand Pan-Africanism as a cultural thing as African Americans do. Because we still have our culture. We still have a two-parent household. We still have aunties and uncles. We still understand to respect our elders. We still understand that with education and family is at the heart of it. Legacy and children. We still understand that. And the expression of that understanding of culture comes out in our music, in our art, in our expressions and vibrations of our being. But when you look at African-American brothers, they've had a different vibration and a different being. One that's full of oppression, full of hate, full of divide. Yes, we have division in Africa, but again, that was colonial divide. African-Americans, you're divided amongst yourself. The men are going their own way. The women are being strong and independent, don't want no man. You have a matriarchy over there, and we have a patriarchy in Africa. How's that going to work? That's why you got people like Blacksit going over there, acting like a matriarchy, but she don't understand it's a patriarchy. That ish ain't going to fly over there. It's not going to fly over there. That's delusional.
Hi, I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, and I make mental health education videos. A delusion is a fixed false belief. And despite evidence that goes against what you believe, you still believe it.
Like, bruh. Nah, come on. We need to stop. That's a delusion. We need to stop that. Big shout out to A Way of Life. I see you in the chat, family. Hit that like button. It's a delusion. We talk about coming together as like it just falls off the tip of our mouth, but we lying as black people. It's a cat.
It's over 9,000!
We ain't trying to come together for nothing. How can you come together when we don't have any shared values, morals, and principles? It's not going to work. On one side of Africa, what do you have? You have ethics. Excuse me, you have family. Family is at the core of everything Africans do. But in the diaspora, it's every man for themselves, right? Get rich or die trying. I can do it by myself. Strong, independent woman. So the men don't work together. The young men tear down the old men. The older men tear down the young men. The women are just left to do their own devices. You don't see that in Africa. You see women in work still married. Go look at those presidents and female ministers that you see over there. They married. They got husbands and kids at home. Because so how they're doing it, but they're still married. But over in the diaspora, you've got I don't need no man. Two different cultures. Two different cultures. Africans are like, yo, children don't disrespect the parents. Diaspora is like, let the children do what they want. Hell, children now changing their sex. Parents can't even say nothing about it. Two different cultures. I'm just speaking to the facts here. One culture, predominantly single parent household. One culture, predominantly 2-parent household. Hell, even 10-parent household because you got uncles, aunties, the neighbor next door. You go out into Africa in the village, right? And you act a fool. Watching someone don't slap you up upside your head and you start sucking lemons, like. Yeah. Because I remember when I was a kid, no, that ain't running. No, sir. It's still like that today. There might be a bit of leniency, different generation, but it's still like that today. Different culture. Different culture. You've got a culture over here that wants to spend the moment they get their money, and let somebody come and tell me I'm talking BS, because I know that the black dollar circulates not even 24 hours. I know the black pound don't even circulate 24 hours. And I did a video on this platform talking about the generational wealth that is passed down on the American side and on the UK diaspora side. Zero. For all of those that missed it, go back on the 19 Oceans, you can see it. But then we get on the YouTube and we talk for 7 hours. About what exactly?
You are really dumb, for real.
What? We get on here and talk for 7 hours talking trash.
Y'all are trash.
Every 5 minutes. With no understanding of who we are and what we are supposed to be doing as a people. Well, this is what we're supposed to be doing as a people. We're supposed to be establishing morals, principles, and values. Supposed to be putting on an LSG mindset, family. That's what you're supposed to be putting on. A set of moral standards and discipline. Principles that are aimed at establishing leadership qualities and a higher sense of communal cohesion through the shared moral standards and discipline. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's what we're supposed to be using our platforms for. To reach the younger minds, to reach the next generation, to give them something that we didn't get. Instead, we're saying Africans need African Americans' money. And why didn't the Africans come and get us? Well, because the Africans were colonized, bro. They didn't have no ships. Next question. Well, why don't the Africans understand the African American plight? Because ain't nobody teaching your plight outside of America, bro. Did you, after 1965, got your liberation, did you take that knowledge and go to Africa and teach the Africans? No. But somehow the Africans are meant to magically know this. Why? Because they have access to the internet? Oh, yeah, that's right. 40% of Africans only have access to the internet. So how are they going to get this information? This is real life I'm speaking about. But we have these conversations as if to say these things do not exist. That's delusional.
Hi, I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, and I make mental health education videos. A delusion is a fixed false belief. And despite evidence that goes against what you believe, you still believe it.
That's delusional. And even though you're told something contrary to what you believe, you still believe it. Like there's Africans with flies on their eyes. I just mentioned, anyway. What is the ethnic image that we're trying to put out? What is the conversation that we're trying to have? Why are we're always jumping to the drama. We're always going to the lowest common denominator. We're always going to the hype. We're always going to the ratchetness. We're always going to the hood mentality. We're always going to the ghetto mindset. That's base mentality. And then we come up with, well, I'm a king and I'm a queen. I'm a king and I'm a queen. People looking at you like what? And then you come on the YouTube space, talk about your ratchetness, talk about the single parent pandemic that you have in the community, talk about all kinds of madness, and then have the audacity to turn around and say to Africans, well, you guys are poor. You want our money. Yo, I would rather spend my time with my poor brothers and sisters in Africa, on the African continent, than live a single more day in this crazy house. This is a crazy house. Can somebody who was on the African American side tell me when African Americans got therapy for slavery? Can someone tell me that? Because forgive me, but don't they say that if someone has been through a trauma, that they're supposed to get therapy, right? To help them come out of the therapy? But we've got people, when we're trying to give you culture, give you standards, give you principles, give you morals, give you an African way. We've got Pan-African brothers and sisters on the YouTube talking like, no, God! God forbid you establish any culture. Big shout out to Afro Think Tank. Yeah, drop the link in the description, in the chat, in the comment section. I would like to watch that video. That's right, Regimon. Ubuntu. my bro. I love you, man. Peace to you and the family, bro. Love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Like, I'm sitting here trying to like penetrate the mindset. And sometimes, you know, the lowest common denominator. Listen, I've been talking about it on the platform the whole time. How can we talk about coming together if we have an individualistic mindset? It's not going to work.
Surprise, motherfucker.
It ain't going to work. While you're going left, she's going right, the kids are going upside down. Where's the family? Where's the community? Where's the cohesion? And in case people don't know, I'm going to have to do a slide on this. we're going to have to go back to primitive days if I have to say this, right? Okay, let me say it this way. Back in the caveman day, no, let me not use the caveman days because we were never caveman back in the day. So let me just correct myself. Pull up. Slap for me in the face. Where's my Kevin Samuels? Hold up. I need to give me a slap for that. Let me know. And this is the problem. We're always mixing history. Back on the African continent, we didn't have these issues. Family was the foundation of community, because when a man came with the woman, they produced a seed, which was their legacy, but they had to provide and protect for that seed. This is where you come into the core principles of being a man, fellas. Remember the 4 P's? The 4 P's of a core masculine man is what? Provision, protection, problem solving, and procreation. That's what that is. So when the man comes and instills this, what happens? He gets a woman and they start to build. He moves on to the next level, surface level masculinity, where now he has to adopt more morals, principles, and disciplines in order to make sure that he can provide and secure that woman and provide and secure for that legacy, that child. He now builds and creates. That's what men are supposed to be doing. But yet we got men on here on these platforms screaming and shouting at each other, worse, just like the women. And then they'll be like, the women are masculine. The women, bro, you're feminine. And they want to come on here with a victimhood Olympics. But let me just explain what that is. Victim mentality is a psychological term that refers to a type of dysfunctional mindset. Shout out to African Think Tank. What did he just say? We still got PTSD, post-traumatic slave disorder, right? Go look up Joy DeGruy, Dr. Joy DeGruy, amazing sociologist and doctor, and another powerful woman in the black community who's also married. Go look up her work when she talks about cognitive dissonance and, you know, all of that madness. When we adopt other people's culture, but then we're pushing back and fighting against the very culture that we come from. Tell me that's not asinine. And all the while, they're sitting there laughing at us like,
Got him! Got him!
and I'm sitting there having to ask the question, who
I
raised
said, bitch, who raised you?
Who raised you? It's like we scoring own goals over here, you know. And no one's even holding our hand anymore. Willie Lynch, I read the book on the platform a few videos back. I might have to go back and read it again. And then we insult the other side of the culture, which we need to be connecting back to. You ain't gonna find no knowledge and wisdom in Babylon, family. The West is Babylon. It's Rome. Wake up, for Christ's sake. Rome is falling. It's falling. They're crashing it. They want to bring in the new wave, the new reset, the new world that they envision for themselves. And guess what? You ain't in it. You ain't in it.
Gotcha, bitch.
While they've got you running around on here on the platform talking mess to each other, you are not in it. You're not in it. You're missing the boat. And we're shouting, listen, gather together, go back to Africa. Change your mindset. Separate yourself from this world. Because when this society, this matrix falls, you're not going to have these luxuries of arguing on the YouTube. You're not going to have that. It's going to be total chaos. But those that don't understand history are doomed to repeat it, right? Oh, I love this, brother. Woo! Shout out to Afro Think Tank. He said, what? Facts. African Americans have never been accepted as Americans. Because you ain't Americans. A brother tried to tell me he's ADOS. I said, what's that? He said, American descendants of slavery. I was like, what? How does that make sense? He was like, oh, because there was black people here before slavery. Yeah, I know. They were Africans. The previous king that lived, I think it was before Mensu Mensa, or in that kingdom of Mensu Mensa, sailed with 200 ships over to Africa. Sorry, to America, excuse me. 200 ships over to America. That's what he did. So, and he took 200 ships, had loads of people on it. They settled there. There have been Africans living on America since the Vikings, bro. But no one can deny that majority of Africans that live in America today were taken from slavery. You are an African living in America. Oh, look at my brother. My brother's on point with this. Woo! He's on point. No, he's on point. I don't have a buzzer to say, oh, I got something for you. He's on point. He says, exactly, I'm an African that lives in America. Some people be like, Nani? What's he talking about? They don't even understand that. That's a bit too deep for them. He's like, that's a bit too deep for them. The very culture that listen, I watch the Lapeef show, I watch the Manosphere, I watch Kevin Samuels, I watch O'Shea Duke Jackson, I watch MTR, I watch all these, I watch different people, Walden Meyer or Denta, Expat Life Ghana, the people over in Gambia. I watch Black Sea. I spoke to Black Sea. I'm like, listen, I see the Pan-African hustlers, man. I see the Hotep hustlers, man. Oh, didn't Polite just get arrested the other day? For what? That's the culture. That's a dysfunctional mindset. We have to speak truth where truth is, man. And we have to separate from a culture that's trash. I'm not black. I am an African. From the tribe of Israel, from the tribe of Judah. Because contrary to popular belief, Israel is on the continent of Africa. They're trying to get into the African Union. But we sitting here on YouTube having an argument when people are in our land, in our continent, taking our things. There was a mountain of gold found in Congo. A mountain of gold. I need you lot to just, yo. Nani? A mountain of gold. Them Africans were like, oh my God. A mountain of gold. Let me just hold you lot right here for a second, yeah? Let me just hold you lot right here for a second. You've got people in the African-American space, the YouTube space, right? Talking about Africans need their money. Did you hear what I just said? They found a mountain of gold in Congo. Like, bruh, while you're running away.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
While you're running away, there's gold, mountain of gold in Africa. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It's the last frontier. The colonized masters didn't even strip what they couldn't even do it. They couldn't even take everything. They're still taking stuff today. And it keeps revealing new gems on it. Cobalt, Badantium, all the I can't even figure the friggin' names now. All of them just jumped out my head. Everything that runs your PC, your laptop, your smartphone, be smart. Use your smartphone. Be smart for once.
Much to learn. You still have.
Some of our brothers and sisters have much to learn, man. And some of our brothers need to take the walk of shame.
Shame. Shame.
Because some of the things coming out their mouth, the way they're thinking, the way they're behaving, the way they're moving, nah, bro. You got to stop that, man.
Stop it. Get some help.
Get some help. Get counseling. Get therapy. Talk to somebody. Because this hatred, you're going to go down with Babylon. This envy, this jealousy, this fighting, you're going to go down with Babylon. Make no mistake about it. The reset is here. The economic collapse is on its way. They're talking about the Sheesh session. I spoke about that a few months back. It's not gone away. There's food shortages happening in the UK because of the supply line chains that broke down through the pandemic, and obviously doing part to Brexit. When you ship out all the immigrants that are doing the work and you don't replace the workforce, You know what they're doing? They want to do in the UK? They want to hire prisoners and put prisoners back into the workforce. Recognize that.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Recognize that. Prisoners are going to be working in the open public. What's going on with your jobs? But we want to sit here on the platform having arguments one with another. Raw, big shout out to Shayala. What's up, King? We want to have arguments on the platforms. What is the group ethnic image, man? What is the group ethnic image? Now, you know I always stand with the men on this one, right? I always stand with the men strong and I always stand with the men firm. If you're a man and you do not hold yourself to moral standards and principles, you have no leadership. You don't understand about community. Because there must be something higher than I've got the bag or I've got the money. There must be something higher than, oh, I've banged these many girls, or I can sleep with these many girls. There's got to be something higher than I want everybody to love me and look at me and admire me and tell me I'm great. Because it's not about you. It's not about you. Love plus support equals growth is an equation. It's a mathematical equation. If you do not apply the love and the support, you do not get the growth. So let's apply this equation to the sphere. It's very easy. You can apply it to anything, right? You show the love, you get the community, right? The community show the love. You show the love, you're doing the work, you're putting out the content, right? Then the people show support. Hey, your channel starts to grow. Everybody's like, hey, subscribers, likes, viewership. And then they forget the content of what they were supposed to be bringing out. Their integrity starts to waver. And once their integrity starts to waver, they lack an abundant mindset. They need to pander to the people. They can no longer create. So they're not growing. Now what they're doing is taking from the people because they're not creating to give to the people, and thus the people creating to give back to them. No, they're not doing that. They're sucking it out from the people. And then when we go on the platforms and watch these arguments go back and forth, guess what it's doing? It's sucking out of us. It's sucking the life force out of us. It's sucking the energy out of us. It's sucking the positive mindset out of us to want to do something, to want to be better. And it keeps us in the base mentality, in the base mindset, arguing back and forth like children.
Oh my God! Oh God!
Yeah, that's how I feel right now. It's like a kick in the nuts. Every time I see my people do like this or behave like this, but now is a time of separation. Now is the time to stand in your square and say, are you African or not? Are you from that continent or not? Are you going to take a stand with the poor or not? Are you going to take a stand with the rich? Because that's where the divide is. The divide ain't black and white. The divide is rich and poor. The divide is those who are in power want to stay in power for the next millennia. That's what they're establishing. It's not going to come to pass for those of us that spiritually understand the word and what's going on. For those of us that believe in the word, it's not going to come to pass. But for those of you that aren't even paying attention, squabbling like children, this is not going to be here for very much longer. You're meant to use it for the opportunity that you can. Connect in the age that you can. Build in the age that you can, because men are supposed to be creating and building. And what's about to happen is about to knock the sense, the teeth out of the entire Black community, the African American community. Listen, everybody, every community. It's coming. So, family, listen, this is not the time to be getting in your feelings and be portraying the victimhood mentality. Yeah, I put it up there. It's a dysfunctional mindset. We need to drop that mindset. And we need to establish a new mindset. one with values, morals, principles, with discipline. That is the new culture. That is the new mindset going forward. That's the new behavior going forward. And we should be applying these things as individuals and as a collective. Because if we do these things, we can start to change the image, stand apart, be separated. Because the world has gone to hell in a handbasket. It's hedonistic. How you got women saying, I don't need no man, I want to come together. You got men saying, I'm going my own way. Where is the unity there and where's the family? That's death. Then we come on the platform arguing about, well, the Africans didn't take us, and why didn't they take us? They didn't take you because they couldn't take you because they were enslaved just like you. But you don't want to accept that information. You want to be in your feelings.
Silence, you funny fool.
You want to be in your feelings. Well, as I said earlier on the platform, I'll put it up again. On this platform, I ain't no respecter of persons. On this platform, I speak the truth, family, whether you like it, hear it, forbear it, or enjoy it. Because it needs to be spoken and you need to hear it. Let it prick you wherever it may do, and then you act upon it. Because life is about doing, not just about sitting down talking. I know it sounds ironic that I'm talking, but I'm actually doing something in talking to you. So, you don't get me there. Right?
Got him! Got him!
So, family, listen. I ain't going to be in for too much longer. I've been on there for almost an hour. And I was doing my work already. And then the brother spoke and it triggered my spirit. And I was like, nah, man. He was speaking integrity at that point. So I commend him for speaking that. But some of that integrity needs to be spoken with history. Some of that conversation history needs to be injected into that conversation so that people leave with an understanding. And I'll be happy to share that information with you, bro. I'll be happy to have that conversation with you. Because it goes beyond just black and white. It goes beyond just African American and Africans. It goes way beyond that. Listen, there's no more black culture. There's none of that crap. We've got to establish new morals, values, and principles. And if we don't establish those morals and stand on them, meaning act on them, meaning walk in them, then we nothing but jokes up in here.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And ain't nobody got time for that. That's trash. Straight up, that's trash. So I would say to the brothers and those people on the platform arguing and making all those foolishness, the image that you're portraying is damaged enough, fam. Stop it.
Stop it. Get some help.
Some of you have much to learn, man. Learn it. Learn it. All right. With that, I'm signing off, family. Peace and love. I enjoyed you guys' company. You see what I'm saying? Spread the live if you enjoyed it. I'll catch you later, bro. Oh, big shout out to Becominh Music. I'll catch you later, bro, as well. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I didn't see your message. I was in the clip section. But yeah. No, I got you, bro. I got you, bro. All I'm gonna say, family, is listen, there are certain people that walk around this earth think they know it all, right? But when you come across these type of people, you need listen, first of all, these type of people think like this.
The problem with people like this is that they are so stupid that they have no idea how stupid they are. You see, if you're very, very stupid, how can you possibly realize that you're very, very stupid?
So you got to take, you can't be having those conversations with people like that, man. You cannot be having those conversations with people like that. They have much
to learn. You still have
much to learn. They still have. So with that, family, listen, I will say peace, love. You know what I'm saying? The usual ladies are in here. Big shout out to the BLKMailTV family. Big shout out to my brother Shah left all the way from the USA. Love you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Nice to have you in the conversation. But family, I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to get back to my work. I'm going to be up a bit late. So, yeah, peace and love, family. Peace.